Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Trans Files, episode 2.
Hi,
Oh,
good evening. Hi, Noah. How are you?
I am okay. It's been a day.
Yeah, yeah, I could say the same. Probably for different reasons, but yeah, yeah.
Yeah, mine kind of involved my child today. So,
Oh,
yeah, basically arguing with attorneys today. So,
oh God, I'm
not a fun day. It just
sorry.
wasn't a fun day.
Yeah.
And I was just comforting my child because she was having some
Oh,
PTSD symptoms. So, I've been taking care of her most of the day, and I'm really not looking forward to the fact that I have to work an overnight shift tonight.
oh God. Okay. Oh wow, that's not fun. Sorry.
No,
Mm,
but we only got like one client right now, and like he's pretty chill. So like it's just I think the challenge is going to be is just staying awake that whole time.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I'll figure out something. I'm gonna make sure I stockpile on my energy or my coffee or whatever type of source I'm gonna use. But either way, I'm
right.
determined to stay awake.
Yeah, yeah. God. I have sleep issues. I never actually had but recently it's just because of my work, but because
Mm-hmm.
I work at home and I've heard from people that it does weird things to you, but it really does because it's kind of endless. So
Mm-hmm.
I got into the habit of kind of like doing my work whenever, and that's really
Mm-hmm.
bad because like now my sleep schedule is really messed up. So like I'm having coffee right now, which I really shouldn't, but I kind of have to stay awake for this show. So yeah,
Oh my
yeah,
goodness. Well,
yeah,
you know what? For future reference, like if any of us are pretty tired, we can always move it up for another time. So just wanted to put that out there.
yeah. Thank
Um,
you. Hi, Sarah.
yes. So tonight on T.R.A.N Collaborative, we are going to be talking about gender norms. That is a big topic that needs to be discussed. I mean, I can argue this topic can be talked about in many episodes. So why not we just start with this one? I also want to just give a shout out to the drag community right now because they are getting attacked, and now we have a bunch of hateful, ignorant, bigoted right wingers that are trying to basically like have children exposed to the drag community. It's sick, it's
Oh,
disgusting. Um, I just wanted to say we personally stand in solidarity with you, and anybody that knows anybody that would like to come on this network and use your voice, please message us, send comments. We will gladly have you on the show because the drag community is a part of our community, and we need to
mm,
stand in solidarity with them right now.
yeah, yeah. I agree. I 100% agree. And I mean, okay. So what disturbs me is like it's really ridiculous what they're saying. Like Marjorie Taylor Greene. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
okay. I mean, so yeah, okay. It's easy for me to laugh it off, but
Yeah.
then again, so California State Senator Scott Wiener, not like I'm a fan of him. I have a kind of ambivalent feeling about him, but like he is, an out senator, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in response to Marjorie Taylor Greene, like he kind of made this joke on his Twitter account that, oh, okay, he is going to propose a bill, introduce a bill that makes drag 101 a mandatory, and then he gets death threats. He gets death threats, and a bomb squad had to like go into his home, private home, and search for bombs. It's insane. I mean, it is insane. God.
It's sickening. Okay, like what is wrong with kids like watching drag? Drag is like the fun part. I would actually
Right.
argue as a part of a community. Like
Mm,
every
mm,
time I go to a drag performance, I feel great. Like they know how to make it fun. I mean, but there
yeah.
is a long in depth history with the drag community.
Mm,
And, people need to be aware. I mean, it kind of just goes beyond just having fun and, getting people to live up. There's a really in depth history about it. And the fact that they're trying to erase them, it's just ridiculous. Like,
mm, mm,
I was actually in a Twitter battle a couple days ago when LA Pride had their Pride, and they
mm,
were taking little video clips of kids that appeared to be just like reacting to the heat, and they basically were
Mm-hmm.
twisting it and saying, "Oh, this is child abuse." I was seeing comments on Twitter like, "We need to lock all these LGBTQ peoples back in the asylums." Like, it was just so disgusting. Worst projection I've ever seen, and I just had no choice but to respond to it. It's like, what do you call all this shit that you've been doing for fucking years with sexualizing
Mm-hmm.
your children? So
Right,
let me get
right.
this straight. It's perfectly okay for you guys to do it, but like, even though we aren't, you're basically saying we're doing it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's ridiculous. I mean, okay, so I don't want to shit on the like patient, community, but I mean that's straight up sexualizing your kid. I mean, yeah, but I mean, I don't shit on them. I do have opinions, but like, yeah, so it's just okay. So yeah, I mean, I mean, let's face it. Sorry, but some straight people, not all, but they have double standard.
They
They have double
are.
standard. um like all these thing about that thing, don't say gay. So yeah, okay, you can't talk about gender identity, you can't talk about sexual orientation. Well, then that includes straight too. We can't talk about straight people anymore. You can't talk about men, women. Yeah, let's
Yes.
just be strict about that.
Yes. It's like, if you're going to try to erase us, that includes you too. Do you not see the contradictions in what you're saying? They don't.
Yeah.
They don't. It's just so disturbing. But like, this actually kind of brings into the topic of discussion with gender norms.
Mm-hmm.
I think with gender norms, that whole discourse, it has brought a lot of division and a lot of conversations within our own,
Mm-hmm.
because it also, I have seen a lot of gatekeeping with trans men when it comes to validity, particularly with the non-binary community, or even trans men that actually can't medically transition.
Right.
I have seen people talk about, like, well, you're not really a man then if you can't transition. Like, okay, first of all, you got to understand, not everybody can take hormones.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They do
Right.
have effects on your body.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they ask you these questions when you essentially go in to start hormones.
Right. Right.
Stop invalidating them just because they can't.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I would even ask, it's just like, so my thing with gender norms, so men are often seen as these strong, tough people, or with turfs, they see us as rapists and like just don't have any respect for women. And women are often seen as like very sensitive, and that they're basically just, what do I want to call it? Like the June Cleaver thing,
Mm.
the perfect housewife.
Right.
Granted, the
Right.
women's rights
Right.
movement has been getting a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
However, this is kind of where like I have some empathy with women's right movement right now, because the turf movement, they're hurting that movement right now.
Mm-hmm.
They're
Mm-hmm.
making it so bad for them. I mean, women are not really typically taken seriously in society, because we got the male society, they want to express their dominance,
Right. Right.
and they're trying to basically say like, no, they don't matter. But when the
Mm-hmm.
turfs come in, they don't even realize like you're making it worse for actual women that are trying to use their voice and actually ask for that equality.
Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, so this topic is really kind of hot button topic for me, because I have, I guess, a lot of opinion about that. I have a lot of history about that. So I mean, okay. Where do I start? There's so much to say, but um, okay. So yeah, I guess okay. So first of all, to your point, before I kind of talk about myself, to your point, there are actually okay. So folks, there are people actually who choose not to take hormones or who choose not to transition, and that's perfectly okay, right?
Mhm.
I mean, let them be. Let them be. Don't
Exactly.
shit on them, right? I mean, I have a friend actually, like who is a trans man, but I mean, he's not transitioning, he's not taking hormones, but I mean, he's a trans man. I mean, what's wrong with that? Just let them
Right.
be, okay?
Hmm.
And also, okay, I'm gonna jump in. Okay, so this
Go ahead.
yeah, this business about transitioning. So there are so many ways to transition, and it's perfectly okay. We have a different way of transitioning. So please do not make it an ultimate goal to like fully transition, like
Mhm.
physically, surgery and all that. For instance, I actually do not intend to have a surgery because that's not my thing. Okay, it's I'm taking hormones right now because I wanted to do it, but
Mhm.
I'm not having top surgery. I'm not having bottom surgery. Um, and I'm not going to let anyone tell me, therefore, I'm not a trans man or I'm not a man. I mean, I'm not going to accept it. I have my way of transitioning. I know, I know who I am and I know, what I want. Okay. So
Mhm.
that's none of your business. None of, yeah. So anyway, yeah, 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 yeah.
Yep,
So
yep.
like that.
You're right. It really isn't any of their business. I mean, honestly, this is what society like expects from us. Like it all goes down to anatomy and like physical characteristics. I'm sorry, physical characteristics don't mean shit. Okay, like you don't. This is the thing. Just like kind of going back to the comment that I received on TikTok that I should cut my nails because men do not have long nails. Okay, you can't dictate to me how a man should look.
Mm-hmm,
This is how I view myself as a man. So don't try to tell me any different.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I am
Yeah,
not going to conform to society norms. I'm sorry.
right, right. Yeah, and what Sarah was saying earlier, yeah, femininity. I know like trans women get shit for that too because they are just expected to act super feminine. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and I can actually kind of relate to that because I was a lesbian for some years, like 20. Let's see, 20 years of my life, 21.
Mm-hmm.
So being a petite Asian person, I was always like seen as femme. People expected me to be a femme, so therefore I was expected to act a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
It's really fucking annoying. Okay, it's really fucking annoying. Like let people be. You know, I just don't get it. It's 2022.
Mm-hmm.
People. It's 2022. I mean, you don't really have this cookie cutter definition of what women are or what men are. It just really blows my mind that some people still think that way.
It's all back to historical times. I swear that everything's moving backwards instead of forwards. And honestly, it's just like, how? Why are we in this place? Like, why are we moving backwards and not forwards? Okay, like society's changed. Get with the
Mhm.
program. Like I remember even before transitioning, like I people would give me shit even as a girl's like, why aren't you wearing dresses? Like, why aren't you wearing heels? Like, why aren't you doing your hair? I was actually kind of like a tomboyish person. Like,
Mhm.
I didn't give a
Mhm.
fuck about that. Like, I did not like wearing dresses. It actually made me sick.
Mhm.
But it was just like, I remember times when I actually would wear dresses and people would be like, see, that's such a special, beautiful girl there. Like, basically patting me on the back that I was confining to the norms of being a girl.
Right.
It's like, let me be who I am, okay? Like, girls don't have to wear dresses if they don't want to wear dresses.
Mhm. Mhm. Yep. Yep. See, so here's the thing though. I always, here's what I always think, what I always have thought and still think. So these these things that we are talking about actually hurt cis people as well. We
Yep.
all experience, being hurt by this stereotype, right? Like cookie cutter definition of what women should be, what men should be. So fighting for trans rights, trans liberation is actually a fight for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
It actually liberates a lot of cis people as well.
Mm-hmm.
So okay, so case in point, my former girlfriend, she told me this like really painful story of her childhood because she's always been a tomboy,
Mm-hmm.
never wanted to wear a skirt, but she grew up in Switzerland. She's a Swiss, and but her parents and grandparents were like really adamant that she should, especially on the formal
Mm-hmm.
occasions. So one day, her parents were going to her grandparents' house, for a dinner party or something like that. And sure enough, my former girlfriend, said no, she doesn't want to wear a dress. Well, they left her there at home alone, without dinner, without nothing. And she cried all night. She cried, her eyes out. And she still remembers it. It was very traumatic for her. So like that, I think, that may be kind of extreme, but I think, a lot of cis people go through that too.
Yep.
Being forced to conform, to
Yeah.
societal norms.
And you know what's funny though, like with that argument though, you see a lot of cis people talking about, oh, we only are doing it because we care for the kids, and it's just like, but you're treating your kids like shit when you're doing that.
Yeah.
You're essentially just wanting to impose your own values onto them and not allow them to actually explore like who they are.
Mm-hmm.
If
Mm-hmm.
they don't want to wear dresses, that's fine. We're not in the 30s or the 40s or the 1800s. We're not in that time period anymore.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Don't punish
Right.
your kids. And I'm just going to say to cis people, if you are going to sit there and deny your kids the right to transition and allow them to be themselves and also dictate them your values,
Mm-hmm.
that is child abuse. That is emotional abuse.
Yep.
Denying them their food or water or the basic fundamental needs, that's neglect.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What we are doing in the community, that is not abuse. Teaching inclusivity is not child abuse. I just wanted to put that out there. That is a PSA.
Right. 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 Completely agree with you, 100%. What was going through my mind just now when you were speaking? It's like I am getting old. I don't know. I forget things. But no, actually, what was happening was because I'm like looking at comments as well. So
Mhm.
hold on. I just want to read Sarah's comment or question, and that actually I have to read this like several times to get it. Okay. Can a binary trans person be gender non-conforming without being non-binary? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, why don't you take that
Yeah.
question away, actually, Suker? I think that's a perfect question for you.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so to me, being gender non-conforming is just purely expressing yourself. I mean, okay, so here's the thing. Here's like, okay, yeah, okay, all
It's
right, all right.
okay.
So let me just
This
approach
is
it.
a non-challenging question. So yeah.
Yeah, let me just approach this in a different way. So let me just talk about myself. So I am a trans man. However, my gender expression is very, very fluid. Um, I like feminine things. I mean, what's called feminine things? For instance, I actually like certain types of skirts and dresses. Not all though. Not all. I'm
Mhm.
very, very picky, but certain garments are very beautiful, and I like beautiful things, and they're actually kind of comfortable as well. So,
Mhm.
I mean, I actually have no problem whatsoever wearing a skirt.
Mhm.
I mean, people may give me shit in public, but I mean, I personally have no problem.
Right.
Um, so yeah, okay, so that's why I feel like um therefore, my preferred pronouns he they. Yeah,
Mhm.
so I go by both. Having said that, since gender is such a socially constructed thing, I mean, I think anyone actually, I would actually bet majority of people nowadays especially in a country like the United States.
Mm-hmm.
I think majority of people go sort of like beyond gender norms,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because it's kind of insane to think that like let's say, in the 50s, what is that? Norman Rockwell picture, right? I
Mm-hmm.
mean, no one looks like that anymore. I mean, maybe some does, some do, but
Yeah, I would say more of the boomer generation, you'd probably see that. They
yeah,
dress the old school stuff. I've seen it at least. But yeah, you're right. Nobody dresses like that anymore.
yeah. So I mean, yeah, I think answer is yes. I mean, to me, it's yes. Yeah. So binary trans person can be gender non-conforming without identifying themselves as non-binary. That's my answer. Yeah.
I actually agree with that too. I think that a binary trans person can be gender nonconforming without being non-binary. But there is, like, going to the point, what I also saw to follow up with that was that the whole thing about not being a girly girl, basically not conforming to that norm.
Okay, stop telling people what they are. It drives me
Right.
fucking crazy. Stop doing that. Stop.
Exactly. Enough with it. Like, you need to stop this shit. This is why a lot of trans people have challenges coming out. I mean, if you kind of like, okay, let's put societal shit to the side. But even
Mm,
if we're at a point now that we can't even come out to even our own community because we experience shit like this, then that's a problem. That's a
mm,
fucking problem
mm.
that needs to be addressed.
Right,
We
right.
need to remind our trans non-binary siblings, like, what do you remember back in your time when you were struggling with coming out and you were needing that support, and you're sitting there pushing people away knowing damn well what we're dealing with right now?
Mm, mm, mm.
Don't dictate to other trans people like how they should be and how they should look. Accept them for who
Yep.
they are. They accept you for who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Don't put a fucking garbage expectation on other fucking people. It's disgusting, it's gross, and honestly, people who do it, you really need to engage in some self-reflection on it.
Yep.
And wonder why we're not taken seriously as a community.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
See, even though like the gatekeeping issues aren't really discussed, our enemies see this shit.
Yep.
They play on what they see. This is why we receive hate. We're not calling this shit out. Meanwhile, we're just providing our enemies with all this ammo to attack
Mm-hmm.
us.
Right.
Like, seriously, enough with it.
Yeah.
I um I actually received a text from my partner JT about the non-binary portion. They were saying being trans non-binary, it's been kind of difficult in several ways. Mostly because people don't understand being non-binary or just refuse to understand. At their job, people refuse to use their chosen pronouns and name. They just say, like, that's not your real name, or what is the big deal with non binary? Can't you choose a gender and be it? Be happy with how God made you.
Oh my god.
I am
That's
so
such
sick of
a
the God. Oh my God. I'm so sick of this fucking. Oh my God. Okay. I'm going to take a couple deep breaths because.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's do that, everyone. Yeah. Breathe in and breathe out. Yeah. Yeah.
Breathe in and out. Okay.
What God made you. Okay. First of all. Okay. Granted, I haven't seen like everyone's genital in the world, but I know it's been talked about, right? I mean, everybody's different, and I mean like physical body is different. Um, no genital. Okay, my window's open, so that's why like, I realized okay, like my neighbors hear this, but anyways, no two genitals look exactly the same. Okay, people. First of all, so relax. Yeah, what God made you unique. Yeah, well,
Exactly.
yeah,
Oh my God. You know what? I am so tired of these whack ass Christians. I'm so sick of it. I'm so over it. Like, I feel like most of these Christians these days, they must have forgotten the Bible, obviously. They must have. I mean, I'll admit, like, I haven't fully read the Bible, but I mean, I read the New Testament pretty heavily because I recognize that's the time that we're living in right now. We're not living in Old Testament times, we're living in New Testament times. God is about love and acceptance and liberation. He's not for this bullshit that people are saying.
Right.
God is about that uniqueness.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He doesn't expect everybody to be the same. We're imperfect beings.
Right. I
Stop
agree with
acting
you.
like you like get rid of this entitlement that act like you know that what God wants. By the way, just a reminder for you Christians, that's a sin. You cannot be speaking on behalf of God and twisting his words.
Yep, I
Reflect
agree
on
with you.
that. I
Mm-hmm.
know he says we were all sinners, but you know what? Y'all are creating the ultimate sin right now by saying this bullshit.
Mm-hmm. 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 Yep.
And just to follow up with that, here we go.
Yep.
Damn straight.
Mm-hmm.
Damn straight.
Mm-hmm.
That is how God made you.
Yep.
You know another bullshit argument that I hear when it comes to God, it's like, well, God doesn't make mistakes. That is one I've
Okay.
seen quite a bit. They will say, well, God doesn't make mistakes. God made you a female, so you just need to accept that.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah, I've been told that quite a few times. Of course, they also bring the mental illness portion in there as well, saying that you're mentally ill.
Right.
So,
Huh.
but it's just like, God damn. I all I can think to myself and laugh in the same breath. It's like, okay, well, when you know that day comes, Judgment Day comes, he's gonna sit there and fucking like boo you out the door. That's all I can really say about that. He's gonna boo you out the door. God doesn't like people who judge.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Okay, so I was like, oh, so seconds ago, I was like, well, okay, let me think about this. But it's kind of like okay, my word against yours. It's like because I'm not God, you're not God, you can't speak for God. Okay, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, let God speak for themselves. I mean, I'm not gonna even like use the gendered, you know, pronouns here. I mean, I'm just gonna say they because I don't know God's, female or male or whatnot. So anyway, yeah. I mean, I'm not God. You're not God. You're not speaking for God. I'm not speaking for God either. So
As
yeah,
my
there you
partner
go.
just said, I think God is non-binary, anyways.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree with you. Yeah, actually, yeah, yeah.
I
Hmm.
actually agree with that too. I mean, I don't think it says anywhere in the Bible really what his gender was or what their gender was.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I just for just a record, you guys can feel free to read the Bible. Look at the especially in the section of free will and love and acceptance and liberation, but ultimately stop forcing God onto us.
Hmm.
God actually wants
Hmm.
us to go to Him.
Right.
I just wanted to go ahead and just put that as a PSA because I know there's been a lot of these conservatives that have been talking about how we need to bring God back into school because right now our country's broken, and particularly with the LGBTQ.
Oh my God.
It's like, oh my God, no, no. Don't be doing this shit.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, whose God are you talking about?
That is
That
true.
too. That too. Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
another question. It's like,
Um,
what God are you referring to? Because the God I know is about love, acceptance, and liberation. So, which God are you referring to? I'm
right.
thinking at this point that, well, as most of you know, like, yes, I'm a universalist, but I do practice some Christianity. So, just for the record, though, with when it comes to this, like, you guys must be referring to Satan then. You know,
Mm, mm-hmm.
I've actually been coming a little bit more accepting with Satan because, like, the Satanist church, they support the LGBTQ.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I didn't want to get off topic of that, but I know like these conversations can go all over the place. As I stated earlier,
Yeah.
like these type of conversations, they can go anywhere.
Yep, that's true. That's true. Yeah, because it's kind of like it's very very it's multifaceted. It's yeah, yeah. So let me just kind of mention, go back to like, so this issue about clothing, okay,
Mm-hmm.
or appearance, long hair versus short hair and stuff like that. In terms of like clothing though, like gendered clothing really is a kind of like a modern concept and also like Western concept, I would say, because like, so let's talk about like kimono, Japanese kimono.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, there's a very little differentiation between male and female in kimono.
Mm-hmm.
We virtually look the same way, actually, female, male. The only difference in a traditional kimono that we have, like, gender wise, is like which part goes in front, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that actually comes from, okay, this is the kind of social norm part, but so a lot of people are right-handed. So in the old days, when people were wearing kimono and they were like samurai clan, right? So they
Mm-hmm.
carried sword in the left hand side, or actually like not like a big sword. If they have like a short knife, they
Mm-hmm.
carried it like inside their pocket, sort of like inside their kimono fold.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why men's kimono left side is on top, so that you can like insert your right hand into your kimono and pull out your knife, right?
Mm-hmm.
And since women supposedly didn't carry any knife, any sharp things, women's kimono goes the opposite way. So that's
Mm-hmm.
that's the only differentiation though. So it's like we all look the same. So if you look at like various cultures, you would find out that this notion that men's clothes, women's clothes are radically different, that's actually not true. You know, so
That's actually a good point to bring up too, because of the cultural differences. So are you got I just gotta ask the people whoever decided to, make gender norms a thing. Like, what are you gonna tell to all these other cultures? You gonna
mhm.
say that's not okay? Are you gonna start using your stupid garbage slurs with them as well? Bet you
Yeah.
wouldn't. We, after all, are supposed to be a very inclusive country, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
I mean, honestly, I don't think anybody should just put a label on when it comes to the clothing. Like, I mean, there, even for me as a trans guy, like, yes, I do dress pretty masculine, but like for me, like the color pink. Okay, let's go
Mhm.
back that far. The color pink is something that was associated with femininity. I
Mhm.
would get
Mhm.
shit for wearing pink. And I'm sorry. I mean, pink has become more of a thing now. Like it's become more accepted with guys. But I
Yeah.
mean, when it was first starting coming out, like as a good thing, like I would get shit like, no, girls are supposed to wear pink. No, guys can wear pink. Hell, I even think I look good in fucking pink.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like, don't tell me, don't tell me this. No, no. I mean, granted, I do wear a lot more darker colors now, but I mean, I got a couple of pink shirts still, but it's just like, what? Now we're going into the colors with it. It's like they're labeling like pink is girls, blue is boy. Playing with trucks is for boys, not for
God.
girls. I'm sorry.
Well, let me just say this. Are you that boring? It's so boring. Okay, so if as trans person, if we must conform to cisgendered norm, I mean, no, thank you, no, thank you. Frankly, no, thank you. I refuse. That's boring. Come on. I mean,
Or even this comment. It's traditional to have long hair. Your hair was your strength, and you only cut it when in
yep,
mourning.
that is true. Yep. Hmm.
I mean, honestly, like for me, like when I actually started cutting my hair short, like I remember my very first haircut, it was a pixie cut. Okay. Granted, I love short hair, but that haircut was just evil. That seems to be the haircut that mothers do to little girls, is given the pixie cut. For me, I personally didn't like it. I was just like starting to develop a little bit. Like I had the really thick glasses, I had big earrings, and I had split teeth. I looked like Elton John. So, but even then, like granted, like yes, it made me feel better when people kind of referred to me as a boy, but it's just like I got made fun of for that. I got criticized for having short hair as a girl. Like, you ever think maybe I just don't want to take care of all that fucking long ass hair?
Yeah, it's a lot of work. I have a very, very thick hair, so yeah,
That's my hair.
yeah,
Yep. My
yeah.
hair is very thick. It's very cool, curly. Like, I mean, if you go through my Facebook, like I have past pictures, but basically, what I would do actually, I would straighten my hair to
Mm,
combat
mm,
that. But even that was a pain in the fucking ass. I
mm-hmm.
couldn't do that anymore. Granted,
Right.
I'm not saying I wouldn't be open to having long hair now. Like, I know guys actually, that's actually a topic I want to talk about. Guys are now like embracing long hair. Like,
Yeah.
that's become more of an acceptance.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, some guys look hot, with long hair. So,
Thank
yeah.
you.
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah. I just personally, not for me, but as a for the reason that I stated, my hair, mind you, I mean, you don't see it because I always have a short hair, but hey, you don't want to see me, or you don't want me to go through hell of having a long hair, because like this is fucking thick. Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I mean, okay, Sarah's point. Okay, so I'm a Kundalini yogi. In Kundalini yoga, actually, you are supposed to have a long hair, because again, long hair, sort of, what was the word? It's like it clears your energy.
Mm-hmm.
um and it's a power thing as well. It's been a long time since I was schooled in Kundalini yoga, so I kind of forgot. But yeah, a lot of, if you look at Kundalini yoga community, lot of people, regardless of their gender, they have like a long ass hair. They never cut their hair. So, but even in that community, I refuse to grow my hair, because I just like, that's a fucking nightmare for me. Yeah.
Yeah, that is a good point. I highlighted that comment because I remember reading about that. Blue was the feminine and pink was masculine.
Hmm.
I remember reading about that. Yeah, reminder, this is a national PSA to all you people that are throwing these garbage norms at us. Remember, I just wanted to highlight that. Let's see. And that is perfectly okay, JT. Having
Mm-hmm.
long hair is awesome. I mean, it personally
Yep.
doesn't sit well with me just because, again, I just don't want to deal with work.
Right, right.
I'm a busy person, so like I can't focus on my hair. But like as you can see too, like my hair is very thick at tops.
Mm-hmm.
It grows so fast. Have you experienced that with your hair? Because like my hair, like it just grows like extremely quick.
Yep. Yeah. Mine too. Yeah. I mean, I have a lot of guy friends who have long hair, beautiful long hair. So yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, so don't hate on people who have long hair. Long hair doesn't have a gender to it,
No.
despite what society tells you. Because like society says boys are supposed to have short hair, girls are supposed to have long hair. That's not true. Everybody
Mm-hmm.
can have long hair. Everybody can have short hair. Everybody can be bald for all we know. Like, like leave it alone.
Right.
Don't dictate to people. But this is a choice too. I want to just make a PSA to trans men, trans women, non binary, all this.
Mm.
Do not give shit to people who make these choices. A
Right.
woman does not have to be ultra feminine, they can be butch.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep.
There's still trans women. You know what I mean? There's still women.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If this is what makes them comfortable, then that's what makes them comfortable.
Yeah.
Or this is another good topic: different hair color.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If we want to have rainbow hair, that's perfectly our choice to have rainbow hair. Like, I mean, I know like a couple months ago, I actually dyed my hair the trans colors.
All
I took
right.
one of my hair, the pink,
Right.
and then some white, and then some blue. Of course, it didn't
Mm-hmm.
last very well. It was the temp hair dye. I probably should have gotten the permanent hair dye, but that's another lesson to be
Right.
learned.
Right.
So, but
Yeah.
like, yeah, like don't tell us what kind of color hair that we're supposed to have. I noticed like with women, like mainly like the brunette and the blonde culture is highlighted a lot. It's like
Mm-hmm.
women should have brunette hair, women should have blonde hair, and I kind of want to actually address this as well. The norms of like what makes a person a woman is actually dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're encouraging, in a sense, women to put their mental health at risk, but also their physical health at risk just to become a part of society and accepted. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm referring to like you have to be skinny, you have to weigh a certain amount, and it gets to a point where people are actually becoming anorexic
Mm-hmm.
and it's killing
Mm-hmm.
them.
Yep.
Just
Yep.
know you don't have to be thin. Like if you want to be, like I'm a chunky person, I'm okay with being a little chunky. Like I'm
Mm-hmm.
okay with it. I don't want to look like a skeleton. I'm sorry. Like, and I know for me, for like as being a trans guy, like they expect me in a sense. I've had people tell me, he's like, you're a really hot guy, Noah, but what would make you a really cool looking man is if you have a 6-pack.
Sorry. um. Yeah. Yeah. I. I don't know. It just kills me. It's very sad. It's very sad that within our community, and I guess outside of community too. But I mean, as we've been talking about, it's very sad that we have to tell each other, or some people have to tell other trans person that, oh, you should look more masculine or you should look more feminine, to be
Mm-hmm.
accepted. It's just sad, because we are
Yes.
not about that. We are not about that. We are about liberation, you know.
And she's right on this. That is based off those sexist beauty standards.
Mm, mm, mm,
You guys, okay, every person that pays attention to any of this type of garbage, I'm sorry, you really need to kind of just step outside the box with it. Like, I see a lot of contradiction in the trans community where they're talking about, it's like, oh, like, be who you are, like, it has no limits. But then in the same breath, they kind of engage in those same talking
mm,
points, where they go and sit there and say, well, no, that still doesn't make you a man. Like I know, like in my research right now with my professor,
mm,
when it comes to trans issues and counseling, and if people are exploring, I am making the argument right now. We just need to ask those existential questions. If people are not familiar with the theory of existentialism, the theory of existentialism is actually a really good approach to counseling. It hasn't been really thoroughly researched. That's why it's not all empirical. And I mean, it's pretty sad.
mm,
But the purpose of existentialism is finding meaning and identifying the meaning.
mm,
It falls under to the humanistic approach, and it kind of fits into Maslow's pyramid of hierarchy of needs. If you find meaning, then it's complete. If you lose somebody in your life, sometimes you're still trying to seek meaning. Either way, that's all what we're seeking as human beings is meaning.
mm.
Ask
Right.
the existential question: what does being a man look like for you? What does being a female look like for you? And in terms of the non binary communities, like, what does this look like for you?
Mm-hmm.
Explain to me what this looks like. Do not dictate to people garbage norms. If you are an authentic ally to the trans, non binary, gender non conforming community, you would be asking these questions,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
not dictating to people and generalizing. I mean, that is just some shit. It really just disgusts me.
Yeah.
But I kind of wanted to go into the topic of validity too, because I mean, there is gatekeeping when it comes to validity. What makes a person valid?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yep, it is all
It's
different for
just
everyone.
this sums it up. It's all different for everyone. So
Yep, it's all
yeah,
different for everyone.
yeah, yeah.
It's all different.
Mm-hmm.
Stop listening to the establishment, I should say.
Right, right. So yeah, okay, validity, right? I mean, okay, so yeah, it's like okay, so for trans man or man, it's kind of like muscles, You yeah, I don't know. Okay, so I think I mentioned this before, but I always say this, I'm a very petite person. I've always been, and not only my physicality, but I've always been into um, I don't even necessarily call it feminine things. I actually would call it like maybe non-masculine things. Not
Okay.
necessarily masculine. I guess meaning that okay. So I've never really I've never been into sports. You know, um, I've let's see, like okay. So when I play games, like I do play computer games occasionally, but I'm not really into like fighting games because simply because I'm yeah I'm not good at it, and I'm not like it doesn't really excite me. Yeah, I like strategy games, and maybe like a sort of like a story oriented games. Have always been in theater, stuff like that. So oh hi,
Let me bring him
hi
on.
Justin.
Justin!
So glad you
Yay!
joined us. Yay!
Sorry, like I was so tired.
It's okay, bro.
Oh, it's
I'm gonna be
okay.
feeling
We'll
it
chill.
tomorrow. So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
we were talking about validity and some gender norms. So I know this is a topic that you wanted to discuss. So I definitely, we both would definitely like to hear your viewpoints on this.
Yeah. Shoot. Yeah, don't get me started on gender norms. Like, I could talk about that forever. Like,
Oh yeah, like it's a topic that can be talked about on many episodes. We're just getting
Oh,
the conversation going today.
yeah.
yeah, we're
Well, you have the floor, so.
Yes, you have the floor.
shoot, like, yeah, cause I didn't even like I could go through like just like just what family, cause I hardly tell them shit anymore, but it's just like shit like, oh, you supposed to hold the door open for people, or like men don't cry, that type of bullshit. Hate that. Kind of drawing a blank, but that's the type of stuff that I'm tired of being held to, or like I'm supposed to know how to work on a car.
Mm,
Mhm.
mhm,
Yeah, like that's basically like how men are supposed to act in society.
Yeah, we're
Of
supposed to
course,
like
I
be able to
mean,
fix everything, and I don't even identify
right.
as a man anymore. But yeah, you get the point. But like doing all that very like hands-on, like gotta pick up all the anything heavy, or doing all the
Mhm.
repairs and mechanic type shit.
we got to be the defenders.
Oh yeah, defender.
We
That's
got to
another.
be the defenders. We got to be
Mhm.
the protectors.
Yeah,
But of course, like I mentioned earlier, the turfs are actually saying that the men are the rapists and the attackers. So were misogynistic. So apparently that's their definition of the societal norms for men.
Wow.
Oh, that's so depressing.
Yeah, TERFs are depressing. What are we talking about here? They're very depressing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, we actually brought up a discussion about even with clothes, like gender neutral clothes. And I would
Yeah.
like to hear your viewpoint on that.
Shoot. When we come to clothes, it's like people are like, oh, you can't wear a crop top, you can't wear a skirt, or you can't paint your nails, or you can't paint your nails a certain color. There's so many.
No.
Like,
And for the record, men painting their nails is cool.
I
So
know.
anybody that
Yep.
wants to go and like, diss them, you can go do something with
yeah,
yourselves.
yeah,
Like
it's
I
like
see a lot of
it's so
guys
much
when they.
fun.
Oh, go ahead.
Like painting your nails is so much fun. Like it for me, it's like self care. Like actually need to get mine redone because the paint is just falling off.
Oh, by the way, our other co-host J Dog, he's going to be joining us here shortly too. So
All right.
we're going to extend this
Nice.
episode because this is a really good topic to be exploring and discussing. But I wanted to go ahead and actually highlight this. I think this is a very important topic we need to discuss when it comes to gender norms and remind the TERFs that whatever they're spewing about gender is fucking garbage.
Yeah.
No.
Stupid TERFs. I'm
Yes.
just waiting for them to pop on my thread after that JK Rowling post. Like, I'm just waiting for them. I'm waiting for them. I'm waiting for them to tell me that I'm being slanderous. Or saying this is what happens when you give trans people a platform. Waiting for those comments. Give me just a second. Okay, cool. Justin, since you're here, actually, and I know we've only been meeting like once a week, and I kind of touched. I know we're going to go off topic a little bit. I'm going to wait for my other friend to hop on before we continue this discussion. But you were at Sacramento Pride, and I actually talked about this a little bit on Sukaru Show Project True, and we just want to hear like your experience with Pride, like because I know you and I were kind of talking about it on Saturday.
Yeah, it's no very very corporate and like what else can I say? Like it was smaller than usual this year. I think.
Mm-hmm. It was hot.
Oh, it was hot. So that would be global warming happening. So like that, like it was triple digits. I had a headache
Oh,
after that.
wow. Yeah.
And they didn't even have
Yeah,
a fan. That's the thing. Didn't
Mm.
they have one in 2019, Justin?
have fans. Probably
Yeah.
in their cooling area. Like I'm pretty sure they usually have a mister. Yeah, their cooling area was packed, which I'm not surprised with how hot it was.
I basically told people it's kind of
Yeah,
like that metaphor, like, like if you're hot and you want to go to the pool and you're expecting to be in the pool and it's going to be cold, but then there's a whole shitload of people in the pool and then it actually becomes warmer. So it really, at the end of the day, it doesn't do you any good.
yeah, yeah. It was incredibly hot. I even
Mm.
bought water. But honestly, I probably should have been drinking water like throughout the whole day because I still ended up with a bad headache.
Oh God.
Bro, same.
Yeah.
I actually ended up with a headache. I actually honestly wanted to call off the next day,
Mm-hmm.
because of the fact that it was just so hot, and I know my kid was feeling it the next day too. That heat was just very real. But like for me, honestly, me and my other co-host J Dog, we're going to kind of discuss this more in depth on our show on Saturday on Happy Hour. We're going to discuss more about the prides. He currently lives in Washington, so he's definitely going to share his perspective on it. But from what we were discussing, it was very corporate. But for me, what kind of essentially scared me away from Pride this year was the cops at Pride.
Yeah,
Did you get a temperature of that like after I left? Because I think I left around like
it's very much walking around like I'm the warden, and yeah, it was very like a not comfortable demeanor, so it makes people feel unsafe. And when I was leaving, like I don't even know if this which Pride this was at, but somebody just got choked out and assaulted. It was L.A. Pride, I think.
LA, yeah, LA,
Yeah,
yep.
yeah, they got choked out and punched in the head. Had all kinds of uh, bad scrapes and bruises.
Yeah.
Just like that. That just had to be just so traumatizing to experience. Like you're supposed to feel safe at Pride.
right. I think a lot of people also forgotten the whole meaning and concept of Pride to begin with too, because it's just been replaced with corporate bullshit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
It like
it's
kind of
like
Sukaru
just a
said
total
too.
party, and it's like it's not
Yeah, like
like
that's why I admire what you're going to be doing in July, Shikaru, is having that alternative Pride. I think that's very important, honestly, and it also sends a statement too. It goes beyond Pride Month. It's
Yeah,
in
that's what we
July.
are hoping, and it's one day before July 4th. So
Hey,
yeah, we are questioning, the asking people to redefine what independence is. What the real independence looks like. Independence from what?
right,
yeah.
exactly. I'm just waiting to hear from the other co-host too. Um, okay, but yeah, I noticed it was very small. It just I actually kind of felt bad. Like 2019's Pride was actually pretty good. I actually liked it. But then again, we had Lizzo, so I mean, that was part
Yeah.
of the reason why it was hella awesome. We had Lizzo.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, it was I kind of felt guilty though, to be honest, while I was at Pride because there was a drag performance and like they were trying really hard to get the audience enthusiastic about it, but it was so hot. I just couldn't. Like I was just like
hmm
I was like,
Yeah.
"Ugh." But I mean, it wasn't like it was intentional. It was just like it was so hot. I mean, they made it clear. It's like I know the sun's gonna be worse and it's gonna be our enemy, but it's just like we
Yeah.
can't. I'm
They should add
dying.
more cooling areas for next time.
They should have had some of the misting fans.
Yeah, if you just had like those like just spotted out everywhere, like that would have been good.
Oh yeah. I mean, I am glad that we didn't have any violence at Sacramento Pride, but I mean,
Yeah.
I know it's been happening everywhere else now. I heard this stuff that happened in Idaho, those garbage
Yeah.
ass wipes.
Yeah. And Ohio, like a truck full of white supremacists.
Yeah, that was in Idaho.
Oh, that was
Yeah.
Idaho?
Yep,
Yeah.
that was Idaho.
They traveled from Arkansas though, right?
Oh, they
Yeah, they
traveled
went
from all
to
over.
Yeah.
Texas.
There's a lot
Yeah.
of them from Texas.
Yep, a lot of them were from
Wow.
Texas. They went. Oh, hold up. I think we're getting somebody
Oh
in.
yeah.
Give me a second. Let me see. J-Dog!
Hi.
Hey.
It's a double Justin
Hi,
day.
sorry I'm late. I just got off work.
You're
Right.
good. You
Hi,
are
Did
Justin.
good.
Nice
did
to
you do
meet you.
something with your hair,
Did you do
Justin?
something with your hair, Justin?
I
Did you
didn't
do
put any
something with
gel
your...
in it today.
Oh, okay. Your color looks different. Maybe I
I
was
just took
not
a
paying
shower and went to
attention.
work.
All right.
Yes, I decided to take off the beanie. It got hot up in this room, so I couldn't deal with it anymore. So,
Hey, maybe
so
this will be your new signature look.
okay, I have to have the beanie. Okay, I have to have the beanie. The beanie just looks good on me. Like, come on. Now, okay, wait a minute. See, now I am motivated to just suck it up and just deal with it. The beanie goes back on my head.
All right.
And on top of that, like, yeah, my hair is already messed up from the beanie, so I might as well just keep the beanie on. Why not? So, since you're actually here with us, J Dog, my bestie, um, tell us about like what your viewpoints on gender norms are, because we've been kind of discussing this like in and out. We've kind of touched on clothing, like toys, like the different colors, even talking about as far as the concept of validity of being trans, non-binary. So I wanted to just get your point of view from what you've seen, because like kind of like what I've been promoting on this network is like that intersectionality. Like we have different generations on this network, so like I kind of want to hear your viewpoints on this.
So just in my viewpoints and my opinions, I believe that everybody has the right to dress how they want to dress. I have friends who are dressing in very feminine clothes. I have people who are dressing in whatever the heck they feel like dressing in.
Mhm.
And myself, I just dress on how I feel that day. So like if I feel like sad or depressed, I'll be okay, I need to make myself more happy. I need to wear my more happier stuff.
Mhm.
But I just feel like everybody should just have the right to dress they want to dress without being judged, because I know that judgment for how people dress is a huge thing, especially when it comes to trans people. I have been judged for dressing the way I dress. And just saying, for like anybody out there watching our stream tonight, by the way, I heart all of you for watching our stream.
Yes.
I just remember that the way that you decide to dress every day, dress how you want to dress how you feel. Don't be afraid of people judging you, and if they judge you, just take them away.
And
Just
don't
go
listen
away,
to the
negative people. I dress how I want to dress.
Right.
and don't listen to J.K. Rowling's garbage logic either. That is a national PSA for the lifetime. Do not listen to J.K. Rowling. She is trash. Vile trash.
Yes.
Yep.
Like,
Absolutely.
seriously. Oh my God. Yeah, so my other friend Justin, so did you hear like why she was trending? I guess she basically did her same old bullshit again, talking about she did kind of bring up gender norms, but of course she had to talk about genitalia
Oh, wow. Okay.
again.
Of course.
So
Like, why are you so
I'm
fucking
completely
obsessed?
lost. I've
I
been at
mean,
work for 10 hours.
yeah.
it's like, why are we still having this discussion?
No. God.
I mean, I honestly, I wish I had this type of power. I wish I had the Susan Sarandon power to actually trigger her, because I would honestly call her out and be like, okay, you are talking about how hateful you are towards men, then how come your pseudonym is a man? Why you're pretending to be a man? I would like to call that out. I would like to have that Susan Sarandon power.
Mhm.
And if people aren't familiar
Do
with
it.
like why I'm saying Susan Sarandon power, because Susan Sarandon has the ability to be on Twitter and piss off really bougie liberals. Like she has that power. Like people go as far as to say, "Well, you're the reason why Trump won." That's just an example. So she has that type of power to just trigger them. So like that's what I'm saying when I'm referring to in terms of Susan Sarandon power.
Mhm.
So but you're right though, like everybody should be able to dress how they want to dress. Like don't listen to societal norms. Like I mean the whole concept of the LGBTQ is like being outside the norm.
Mhm.
Why are we
Mhm.
still trying to confine within the norm when that's not even what makes us unique as a community as a whole? Like each of us individually are unique, but I mean if you really think about it, that's why we are a more unique community, because we go outside the actual norm.
Yeah, and gender structures are
Yep.
just so ridiculous. I'm like, nobody fits into those norms exactly, and it's just like, let people be who they want to be and figure out who they are, and just leave people alone. Like it's very invasive, and it's like I didn't sign up for any of this bullshit.
Yeah.
To be fair, I don't think
exactly.
any of us signed up for this bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, none of us even signed up to be
I didn't.
here.
Yes, I saw that hand go up, J Dog.
Yeah, I didn't sign up for this.
Can we make a poster that says, "Hey, we did not sign up for this shit"? Like,
Yeah,
I think that would actually be a good
I
idea.
think that's a great idea. Not
I love that idea.
but I feel like we should have like shirts or something that says that.
Like, we
Yeah.
didn't sign up for this shit. Like, we didn't ask to be hated on. We didn't ask for any of this shit. We didn't even ask to be born, but here we are.
That should be a segment.
The thing is, though, okay, so you don't have to like it. You don't have to like how people dress or how people behave or whatnot. You are entitled to your opinions, but just keep it to yourself. That's my point. Keep it to yourself. I mean, fine, you don't like it.
Yes.
Okay, like, okay, for instance, if I'm wearing a skirt and if I'm a man, man wearing a skirt, you don't like it, fine, keep it to yourself. You don't
Or
have
keep
to
moving.
advertise. Yeah, you don't have to like assault me with your words. Keep it to yourself.
Oh, and I wanted to make a national PSA to transphobes who always feel the need to do it, because I've noticed this since now we've been starting to get some traction on our Facebook page. There's a lot of transphobes that seem to feel the need to go and comment on our threads with stupid, crappy, childish memes. I'm sorry. Like, I don't know what your goal and intention is in thinking that you're going to get all the attention, but you're not. There is an option. If you do not like what you see, go past it. Go past it. You don't need to go
or
and
just
be
ignore
childish.
it.
Yep.
Yeah, like really, like just ignore it. You don't have to go and feel the need to go and post your stupid, crappy, garbage memes.
Yeah, it's like you can go somewhere else.
Yeah, like exactly. Go somewhere else with that bullshit. The only people that are gonna fucking pay attention to you are other transphobes. Nobody else is gonna give you that fucking attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go do
Like
something with yourself.
For me, like mom always said that Facebook is only supposed to be used for like positive things. You never want to post negative things. It's not a thing. Facebook is not a place where you can like basically just blast all your problems. Like it's just used for like good memories and having fun and talking to your family and your friends. Like that's what Facebook should be, not people deciding that they hate something and instead they hate it so much that they have to comment rude shit about it. Like there's no point in commenting rude shit because there's no point. You're gonna get nothing out of it. So why would you even do it?
Well, I also want to remind people, like on my network, we're unapologetic. So, like, we're going to say what we're going to say. Like, I mean, I decided to take a Facebook hiatus because basically people were telling me what I should and shouldn't be posting about. Like, I've been exposing transphobia and people have been telling me, well, just ignore it. I mean, okay, like, yeah, we can ignore it, but like, people need to be aware of what is actually being said to us. Like, we float around and talk about like transphobia and everything, but nobody really actually sees what we deal with. My intention is not to give transphobes a platform. It's to simply educate people, particularly cis people. It's like, this is transphobia, because even the term transphobia has been getting misused in a bad faith way. It's getting used as a way. It's like, well, if you don't agree with me, well, fuck, you're transphobic. No. So I wanted to go ahead and put that out there too. I was going to say, so Justin, so I know you recently did come out as non-binary. So what does that look like for you, actually, being non-binary? Because I know the non-binary community is often misunderstood, just because they're not in that binary norm. So I'm just kind of curious to hear your viewpoints of what being non-binary is for you.
Yeah, I don't identify with either.
For me,
wait.
It means
Oh, I think we got okay. So okay,
Justin.
Which one?
I will call you J Dog, and I'll call you Justin. Yeah, see, we got the two Justins. Isn't that awesome? Okay, so Justin.
This might
Then we'll go to you, J Dog. So you go, Justin.
Oh, me?
Yes, you.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I'm just never really felt any attachment to either side, and just placed as male because just appearing male. Yeah, that's just me. I'm just like, just want to be left alone to just do my own thing and don't. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just you're not really with any identified gender.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's understandable. And I know you were going to say something, J Dog, because I know you both were talking. So I'm going to go ahead and let you say what you were going to say.
That actually brings up a good point too, because I have also been thinking myself that I am kind of non-binary. I'm not, like, there are a lot of things that I've noticed about myself recently that I do that is not more of who I am. And I'm only 21, so it's not like I'm older, and like I still have time to like be myself and decide who I am. Um, for a lot of people too, like I've done drag, I have done dance, I've done a lot of things, um, but they're mainly just like be yourself. Don't be like worried about what people say about you, because at the end of the day, you know who you are, and at the end of the day, you know who you are, and just go with it. Like I get hate every day for who I am. Like, it sucks, but at the same time, like I know that there's people like you three in my corner that like love and support who I am and do not give me that negativity. And at the end of the day, that is what matters. Is that you have
Mm-hmm.
those friends and those family members that are in your corner with you.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I also I kind of want to give a shout out to the indigenous community, when, and particularly with Two Spirited.
Mm-hmm.
That is something I personally have been exploring as of late, because I actually know another trans woman who actually identifies as Two Spirit, but she uses she her pronouns. But she is explaining the concept of like the two spirits, and I've been kind of exploring that, because like how she was explaining it to me, it's like having that ability to kind of reach both the binary gender in its own little way. And I mean, I know I do kind of have that ability to do that, like because I'm able to kind of switch mindsets in a sense. And that's the thing that you got to kind of remember about the trans community. It's like, yes, we may be medically changing, but our personalities don't change.
Mm-hmm.
We're
Mm-hmm.
still the same people.
Yep.
We're just finally just living ourselves authentically.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, here we go. Here's a comment I want to just highlight. Sometimes it's hard to explain being non-binary because I'm a lot masked too. That is another thing I kind of want to address when it comes to the non-binary community. And I know there's a lot of, I think this is why people get confused. Is like I do see, and this is a conversation I had with you, Sukuru, a while back.
Mm-hmm.
It's like understanding the fact, like, okay, with non-binary, it's like it doesn't follow into that binary scale, right? But then at the same time, there are non-binary people who do kind of fall into that binary scale, meaning like they use like the he they pronouns. And I know for
Mm-hmm.
your experience it's a little bit different, but I that's why I wanted to ask the question about what it has been like for non-binaries for you, because I want to address that point. I think people need to be aware of like why the non-binary community still uses, in some sense, binary pronouns, if that makes sense.
Right.
So I am opening the floor of discussion for this.
Mm. Okay, so for me, I want to say two things actually. And so I want to say two things. One is very personal, but the other one is like kind of what I my theory, about certain things. So, um, I think so non-binary people, uh, think we, because I was identifying myself as non-binary at some point. So, and okay, so non-binary, not necessarily like non-binary trans, but non-binary, right? So
Mhm.
back then, I felt sort of a pressure because, as a person who are born biologically female, when we state that we are non-binary, I think there's a constant pressure or constant sort of like misunderstanding from especially from the cis community, that, oh, so you are man or you are moving towards man, right?
Mhm.
Because there's this automatic thought that, okay, if you're not woman, you must be the opposite end. So people don't get this like non-binary thing. So like, so you are kind of constantly having to explain that, oh, no, 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 I'm not really moving towards men. It's not like either or, because that's what the non-binary is. But people really don't get that. So like in their mind, like, okay, if you're not identifying as woman, you must be at the opposite end, right?
Right.
I think there's a constant pressure to identify either or. But another thing about me, like, why am I he they, is because, simple explanation is because that's how I always felt, I guess. Okay, so um, I explained this to you, Noah, but so in Japanese language, there's the first person pronoun can be gender, right?
Mhm.
So in my mind, I always used male first pronoun when I was like, talking to myself, or kind of like thinking about myself internally. I've always been using male first person pronoun. I just couldn't use that, before coming out, because first of all, it's dangerous to use that,
Mhm.
because it's, first of all, it's seen as a sign of immaturity, because it's something that you should grow out of. If you are using it as a like child or young person, it's okay. But like, if you are past puberty, for instance, you are supposed to grow out of it. So if you are using it as an adult, it's just you are seeing in a negative light. So I could not use this pronoun um out in the world. And it was like, when I openly, started to identify myself as non-binary, I started to use that first person pronoun, the male first person pronoun in Japanese. So people then automatically recognized as me as different. So
Mhm.
anyway, yeah. So I mean, a simple explanation is like, that's how I always felt about myself. So that's why, like, I'm he they. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
Wanted to highlight this comment here. You have to be one or the other.
Yeah. See,
I
yeah.
hate
That's
getting
the
told
constant
that.
pressure. Yeah.
Yes.
That's a constant.
Yep. Yep.
How often have any of you received that shit?
I've received it too much. I was adopted. That's really personal, but I don't mind sharing it because I feel like it needs to be shared in terms of my story and what I've been through as being trans. My biological brother and I had got adopted into separate families. Is his mom is very, very religious. And
Mhm.
they quoted the Bible and told me I had to be a girl because that was my true gender and that's what God made me. And so that's why I had to be a girl. And
Mhm.
I told her, I was like, I don't have to be anything.
Mhm.
If this is how I feel in my body, obviously God decided to say, "Hey, I'm a male. Hey, I'm a male.
Exactly.
I'm not a girl. I'm a male." Like, do you think God wouldn't have put that in my head to make me feel like that if I wasn't actually supposed to be born male? And
Exactly.
I hate that comment. I hate when anybody says that you have to be a boy or a girl. Like, I just think that's ridiculous because everybody has the right to be who they want to be.
Mhm.
And for anyone watching this right now, it is okay to be who you want to be. If someone tells you you have to be one or the other, it's not true.
Yep.
None of it is true. You
And
be
I
who
want
you
to,
want to be, and you express yourself to the fullest extent. And we all support you.
yep. And that's kind of where my heart goes to the intersex community too, because they don't get that choice. The intersex community does not get that choice. Like when they're first born, they get dictated that by either doctors or their parents.
Mhm.
And they don't, it's not until later in life when they kind of just realize, like, wait, this doesn't seem right.
No.
So be supportive of your children too.
Yes.
If you have, and I'm only making this special announcement to the intersex community because my heart really goes to them. I couldn't imagine, like, in a sense, having somebody tell me what my gender should be, and especially in a medical way, and then in a sense trying to get me to conform to said gender because you wanted to take away my autonomy. Be who you want. Don't be afraid to use your voice. And by the way, it looks like J-Dog, you got this. JT got told that too.
Yep.
I know. JT, I am so sorry that you have been told that. No one should ever have to be told that. Be who you want to be, JT, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise.
Or otherwise, for me, since I'm their partner, I guess if I have to, I'll fly my happy ass to Texas and kick ass.
Hey, you gotta pick me up first, though. You gotta pick me up first, though.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm not gonna personally step into Texas right now because Texas has become very fucking dangerous right now. So
I'll be with you. It's okay. I'll be security.
well, only if you're actually packing, though, because honestly, since like there's all these mass shootings going on, like I would feel better honestly if one of us was packing.
I'm only 21. I ain't packing. I mean, I'll pack a knife. That's probably about it.
I mean, I can at least do that. But just for the record, I just want to state I'm not going to encourage any type of violence whatsoever. I'm not going to tell people go out there and kill people or whatever. But I mean, that's just the sad state of the trans non-binary community is that, we don't feel like we're being protected. We're not. Cops aren't our friends. And like I told you on your show, Sukaru, government is really not our friends right now.
Nope.
So what do we have left? We have to defend ourselves.
Right. Oh, and if the worst comes to the worst, we have to rescue JT.
Yes. JT, I will come and rescue you.
Yeah, we will rescue you, okay?
There we go. There's the
get you out of there. Yeah.
I will rescue you.
Yay, happy JT. Face. Does that mean we have to save him right now?
Should anyways, yeah, we will come and rescue you, JT. I don't know how I will do it, but I will do it. You should.
Well,
I mean,
as much as I will hate there.
Well, California
I'll take a road trip.
Road trip.
Yeah.
Fucking road trip.
If we gotta get, we can
just
stop at a gun show. Like literally, you can just get a AR-15 in like a minute. Because our gun laws are so lax that it is literally easy. I was talking with, I forget who I was talking to, but literally it's easier for anybody to get an AR-15 than it is like a pistol.
I'm sorry,
I would think it would be the opposite.
It should be the opposite, that a pistol would be.
It should be. That's like a machine gun.
Rather than a weapon of war.
I mean, okay, look, I'm old school. I'm about, even if we fight dirty, like, I mean, I wouldn't even use a fucking gun. Like, I'm all for using your damn fists. Like, that's me. Like, if it happens to fight dirty, then fine. Let's go to the alley. Let's grab a brick. Let's grab a bottle. I don't give a fuck. I ain't using a gun.
All the weapons, all the guns, we'll make those illegal. And, like, anybody can just, like, you know what? I'm going to pick up a fucking battle axe or a sword. Like, if you want a fucking weapon to kill people, like, you got to do it with, like, physical combat.
And like the reason why we're talking about
you kill them with kindness.
That's a good one.
That's a good tool too. You can kill people with kindness.
The reason
Hey,
we
I had to
started
do that today.
the reason we started kind of talking about this is because, as I mentioned earlier, Marjorie Taylor Greene is being a vile piece of shit and talking about how she's going to fucking make a bill to basically ban kids from learning about the drag community or being exposed to the community. And, you know, people are trying to say, hey, like, there's still massive gun violence right now. And the fact that I actually learned in May, now we have a total of 15 trans and non-binary people who have lost their lives this year.
Yeah.
And this was gun violence. The 15th one
Yeah.
was gun violence.
Yeah, Marjorie needs to fucking go along with Bobblehead. What's her name?
Lauren Boebert.
Yeah.
Bobblehead.
Yeah.
All of them need to go.
Yeah, they
All
already
of them need to
they're
go.
rid of Cawthorn, so Marjorie needs to go, Boebert needs to go, everybody that's a fucking fossil that's been in office longer than any of us have been alive.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Right. I
You're
mean,
right.
my thing with gun laws, like I mean, I agree, like with the trans community at this point, like I think we should be armed. We definitely need to be armed. Just because, like I stated earlier, we don't really have a lot of people that are really protecting us genuinely. Like we do have allies. Like I mean, there are authentic allies out there that would be willing to fight with us. But I mean, as a community as a whole, we should be armed.
Yeah.
I mean, every day when I leave the house, I have to say a little prayer to myself and to say, hey, like, Noah, I hope that we can actually come back home and live another day. My daughter says the same sentiment. So I don't want to have to keep saying that anymore. But, you know, here we are. I wish I could be armed, but honestly, I can't because of the current gun laws here in California. I can't. So I do believe that there needs to be some form of gun control, at least. But as a community as a whole, like I think it should be a little bit easier for some of us to gain access to that stuff. So that's my opinion, but yeah, I don't want to go too much into political discourse with this, but like that's all I'm really gonna say about it right now. We need to be armed and ready, and we need to be using our voices. We need to raise hell. But I know we're getting
Yes.
close to the end of the show, so I just want to say first of all, like I appreciate y'all for sticking with us for a longer time. Both of you guys, if you want, you could stay behind because I know we have some stuff we need to discuss. But I just want to thank everybody who's listened, tuned in. Please like and subscribe, share this video, do whatever you can to help boost this network because we are not going to be silent. We're going to continue using our voice. We're going to continue to try to raise hell. So do what you can, spread awareness, and please be safe. Love yourselves. And just want to say take care. Any last words from any of you?
Just
I
never
just
be
want to
afraid to
repeat.
be who you are.
Yep.
Yay.
Yay, that was perfectly said.
Okay, last word. Okay, so we were talking about this before, Noah, but okay, so God, that's the way God made you. Okay. Do not speak for God. Okay, you guys,
Yeah.
you are not God. I'm not God. It's my word against yours. It's not valid. Do not speak
Yes.
for God. Come on.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a
Yes.
way to talk about anytime people bring religion into it is like, don't talk for God. If they want to speak, they can speak.
Right. Right.
Yes.
Oh my God. Yeah, I think that's going to be another discussion, honestly. We should definitely discuss that because, yeah, religion is getting too involved in this bullshit.
Like,
We need to
going,
put it out.
how the fuck do you know?
It's like, how the hell do you know?
Really, God just came
No
down
one knows all.
whisper in the ear, be like, tell this motherfucker he's going to hell. Like, really?
Well, there's a pastor that made a TikTok that pretty much said that that's not true. So,
Yeah. Or did you see that?
It's on TikTok, so it's
Video of,
there.
like the guy that's from the House of Representatives. He was like, "I'm gonna show you what Jesus said about gay people." Just stood there silently. I was like, I love this. Like, shit. Just pure silence. Like,
Mic drop. Mic drop.
for a whole minute, I was just like, "This is savage as fuck." I love it.
Boom.
And then he was like, I give back time," or whatever they say when they're having these hearings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, I want to thank everybody for tuning in, and we will see. Well, we'll have another episode next Wednesday of Trans Files. This Saturday, me and J Dog are going to do some happy hour. You don't want to miss it. We're going to make it fun. And we're going to talk. Yes. If any of you want to, feel free to hop on to happy hour. Let us know, because happy hour is usually a fun time. I know last time
happy hour.
Happy hour, yes. We basically bashed a bunch of Karens. It was actually pretty fun. So
it was a fun night.
It was a fun night. Well,
what are you talking about? We were bashing them for like a week straight before we did happy hour.
I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a spoiler alert. There is a Karen I do want to share with you all. I think most of you know who it is, but the Victoria's Secret Karen.
Oh gosh. Oh my goodness. She needs help. So much help. I'm like, you need to be 5150.
I said the same thing, bro.
Like normally, like for most people, like when they get 5150, it's like you're either a danger to yourself or others. I'm like, you're just both. And I'm like, I don't know who's more in danger, but yeah, you need help, all the help you can get.
We need help on that, but yeah, we'll go ahead and talk about this backstage. But thank you all for who've tuned in and been participating, and we look forward to seeing you soon. Well,
all right.
Good night, guys.
Wait.